Hello, welcome to Sasquatch and Cigars. My name's Thomas, and in this video I'm going to be reviewing the H. Upmann AJ Fernandez Sunrise. This cigar was recommended to me by Mateo at Casa de Monte Cristo on FM 1960 here in Houston. He said that it would pair really good with a bourbon. Unfortunately, I don't have bourbon, but what I do have is some sipping rum. This particular rum is Ron Zacapa XO. It is probably hands down my favorite sipping rum. It's probably the smoothest rum I have ever had in my entire life. A little bit about this cigar, go into my notes. This cigar is the third collaboration between AJ Fernandez and Rafael Nodal. The wrapper is an Ecuadorian Connecticut seed. The binders and filler are Nicaraguan. It's a medium profiled cigar. It says it should have flavor notes of creamy, hints of cedar, nuts, and natural sweetness. This particular cigar is the Magnum. It is a 6-inch by 60 ring gauge, and it retails for about $14.50 per stick if you buy it on the individual. So let's go ahead and we're going to get the good old cigar lighter and the good old cigar cutter, and we're going to get into this and see what it's talking about. I don't know where I picked that up from, but it just kind of makes me laugh. All right. So we're just going to nip the end, check the draw. Good draw. Always get a little bit of tobacco in my mouth whenever I do that. It happens. Got a little flakage happening there on this one. Hopefully that doesn't mess it up. I'm gonna probably do a bad and pull it away so it doesn't mess up too bad. I need to, this will be good. All right, so all we're doing is toasting the end. I think my lighter, it's a bit windy out, so that's why that's like that. Cheers. That's a damn good rum. All right. So on light up, definitely picked up some cedar. Haven't gotten any creaminess yet, but I'm hoping that'll come into play here in a little bit. Does kind of give me a little bit of a nutty flavor. Hell yeah. Shout out to Mateo at Casa de Monte Cristo on 1960. This is an excellent cigar. Thank you for the recommendation. And just as a side note, it pairs pretty well with Ron Zacapa XO rum. As far as the Sasquatch side of tonight's video, I don't really have much, but I got a couple of announcements. First announcement, this coming weekend, May the 1st, 2nd, and 3rd, I'm going to be traveling up into the Sam Houston National Forest, and I'm going to be doing some night investigations just to see what we can see. I'll be taking my phone to record. I'll have my microphone. I'm going to be up there the 1st and the 2nd. I'll be doing videos both nights, and so hopefully I'll have some good stuff to post next week. And I'm pretty excited about that. A friend of mine from work is going to be coming with me. him and his son, and they're going to be joining me Friday night. I'm actually going to go up Friday morning, and after my doctor's appointment. So I got to get my doctor's appointment out of the way, get my blood drawn, get all that jazz done, and then I can take off and go up there. But I can't really check into the campsite until 2 o'clock in the afternoon, which is kind of weird. But that's Texas state rules. Anyways, the other announcement, which is slightly bigger, is on Wednesday, the 29th, I think it is. I'm going to be on the Gen X Talks radio program, Off the Record. They're going to call me up. Apparently, I'm going to do an interview with them, maybe talk some Sasquatch stories and stuff like that. Hopefully, I'll have some good stuff to elaborate after my outing this weekend. Again, I'm pretty excited about that. Shout out to Gen X Talks. I really appreciate you guys taking the time to call me up and talk to me about this. It means a lot. Love watching your show. If anybody of my listeners and my people that see this, if you haven't seen Gen X Talks, you need to check it out. There is a ton of content out there, and it's all good. It's all just outstanding. My favorite is the podcast that he and his wife do. I like sitting there and just listening to them just be real and talk. And they're really down to earth people. I've talked to them on the phone. And I actually called in, or actually they called me up for another story that I had that dealt with something that happened a long time ago. It's not Sasquatch related. It's more paranormal related. I'm not going to get into that at this time, but there is one of their off the record shows has me on it talking about my story, and when I get a chance, I'll see if I can put a link to that actual off the record session in the comments of this video or in the description of this video, whichever one I can figure out to do. But I'll have to see if I can find it first, because I can't remember what episode it was. But back to this weekend, I'm looking forward to getting out into the woods. I've got a set of coordinates mapped out that I'm going to start off at dusk. We'll hang out at the first set of coordinates for a couple hours, and then we'll move to the next. It's an overall distance of a little over 4 miles. So we'll get dropped off there, and then we'll hike back to the campsite and, hopefully get some good recordings that night. And then for the second night, Saturday night, I've got some other locations that I want to go check out and just kind of hang out and listen and see what we can see. Also be doing some fishing, so maybe I'll get some pictures of fish and stuff like that. Actually, I'm more of a fisherman, not a catcherman, so it probably will, hopefully my son will catch some stuff. A couple of my sons are going with me, and I think 2 of my other sons are going to meet us up there on Saturday. This is a good cigar. As you can see, it's a light wrapper that's indicative of the Connecticut seed. So it makes it a lighter bodied cigar. I am definitely getting more nuttiness right now. Not really experiencing much creaminess. And the little bit of the cedar is kind of hinting through. And I think that's the cedar part that pairs really well with the rum. Again, if you have any interesting stories, you want to talk about them, I'll post my email in the comments. I'll actually say it's tsjedi1@gmail.com. you can contact me through that. And again, I'll put it in the description of the video. Email me a story or something like that, and maybe we can have a conversation about it, and and go from there. Again, I'm in the Houston area. I'm looking to try and expand my Sasquatch and Cigars audience. So if you like the video, comment on the video, um, subscribe to the video, and share it. That will go a long way to expanding my audience and get me out there. I am kind of a niche channel, being that I'm cigars, a little bit of alcohol, and Sasquatch, which is uh, kind of narrow on the scope, but I just wanted to talk about stuff that was interesting to me. So I like smoking cigars. It actually calms my nerves. I know I can come home from a stressful ride home, and those of you that live in Houston and deal with Houston traffic, you know what I mean by stressful drive home. And sometimes I'll just come out here and have a little cigar and just sit here and just relax and decompress. I try and decompress all that bullshit out of me before I go in to the house and interact with my family, because all too often in my career I've come home and I've stomped inside and been out of shape, and I just don't react well with others when I'm in that mood. And I'm sure a lot of people can relate to that. But when you have kids, that's not a good thing to do. So as I've gotten older, I've realized that has to stay outside. And so I just want to, and having this channel gives me something to talk about, helps me to relax as well. And again, I enjoy talking about Sasquatch. I also enjoy talking about other cryptids. I've said it before, my second favorite cryptid is the Dogman, aka werewolf or a lycanthrope. Some people think of them as skinwalkers. But yeah, eventually we'll get into talking about some of those, and we'll go from there. I like how even the cigar is burning. Check that out. As I rotate it around, it's just a nice even burn all the way around. I recently had my go-to cigar for taste and enjoyment is the Isla del Sol, and I had a Robusto the other day that just was not acting right. I don't know if I didn't have it in my humidor long enough or what, but it wasn't burning right. It was canoeing. It was going out. It just did not want to stay lit, and I just got pissed off at it and tossed it. It happens, I guess. But I went in and got a different cigar and brought that out and smoked it and was happy-go-lucky after that. I tried to see if there were any recent Sasquatch sightings in the month of April, and I found a couple, but everything that I've seen is that they're not that credible. I think there's a couple on the BFRO website or the Bigfoot mapping project. You can check those out. Those are pretty decent sources. And I think they said they had one that was reported on April the 1st. I'm thinking April the 1st, okay, April Fool's Day, ha ha ha. But, I'm not going to sit here and criticize somebody that says that they saw something when I don't know the details of what happened. Anyways, I'm just, sitting out and enjoying, talking to my camera and talking about life, Sasquatch, camping. I'm not going to actually disclose where I'm going just yet. I may well, the hell with it. This is going to air after I'm already gone and back. So I'm actually going up to the Stubblefield Lake recreational area. The campsites are first come, first serve. They do have tent sites, and they do allow uh, you can hook RVs up there, and you can do other stuff. But we're going kind of primitive, so we're going to take a tent and some cookware and stuff like that, and get stuff going. And like I said, then I'm gonna have one of my sons drive us out to a location, drop us off, and then he'll drive back to the campsite to keep an eye on the campsite, and then we'll hike back to the campsite. Um, I've been up there a couple of times. I actually went out there by myself once, and I posted a video about it. Kind of got spooked a little bit that time. Saw some eye shine in the woods, and so this time I'm going up with other people, and we are going to hike back together, and we're just going to be doing all kinds of weirdo howls. We'll do some tree knocks and see if we get any responses and stuff like that. Okay, there's a little creaminess coming out. It's a subtle hint. Can't quite place it, but it is kind of a creamy, not a milky cream, but just like maybe like a heavy whipping cream. Oh yeah, and now that sip of the rum with that puff of the cigar, that was just outstanding. Outstanding. I could see myself hurting myself out here if I kept that bottle out here with me. I'd go inside rum dumb. Thoroughly enjoying this cigar. If you're in the Houston area and you go by Casa de Monte Cristo, or if you ever happen to get a chance to go there, request this cigar. I'm telling you, you will not be disappointed. This is a very, for $14.50. This is a quality smoke. Quality smoke. I was hoping to have some extra cash on hand to purchase some equipment for this trip coming up, but unfortunately it looks like that's going to fall through. I was looking to try and pick up a thermal camera, and maybe an inexpensive parabolic microphone, or like a high sensitivity microphone, for while we're out in the woods. If we hear something, we can focus in on where we heard it from, and see if we can determine any oddball sounds that we might hear. Unfortunately, my finances didn't catch up with me and my thought processes. So we'll have to wait. Maybe that financial extra that I'm looking to try and do will happen, and maybe it'll happen before my next outing, and I can get that equipment before I go out again. Let's talk a little bit of forest safety. So the Sam Houston National Forest has a huge coyote population. There are feral hogs up there. Again, there's raccoons up there. I've been told that there's bobcats up there, but I'm not sure. Um, and snakes. Snakes. Rattlesnakes are in the area. Copperheads are in the area. And cottonmouths, because there's a lot of water up there, and some of the areas are a little bit swampy. So I am looking to get some leg guards for while I'm traipsing around in the woods. So if I do happen across a snake and it decides to strike me, it won't bite me, because I'd hate to be out in the middle of the forest in the middle of the night and get bit by a poisonous snake, or a venomous snake, my bad. The other thing that we have to worry about is ticks. I've been told that they're predicting that this is going to be a huge tick season, or a really bad tick season. So we're going to have to dress appropriately and check ourselves when we get back to camp to make sure that we ain't got no ticks on us. Because God forbid, I don't want to get bit by a tick and then not be able to eat steak anymore. That would just shoot. That would suck. That would suck hard. We'll be taking plenty of water. Got a little bit of a first aid kit that I've got put together. Nothing major, just something to take care of cuts and scrapes. We are going to be fishing, so if somebody gets a hook in them, I can take care of that. As long as it's not too bad. And anything that you do, you want to try and think about the area that you're going to. You also want to think about things that could happen and things that you can do to mitigate those things. They have a thing at work, PSMS, Personal Safety Management System. That there's a lot of stuff that you can glean out of that and use in your real life. If you just step back, look at the situation that you're in, and think about, okay, if I do X, is Y going to happen? Or if I do X, is Z going to happen? And, if Z is the bad thing, what steps can I take to mitigate that? So I've looked at the area. I know that there's venomous snakes up there. So to mitigate that, I'm definitely going to be looking to get some lower leg guards to help prevent, if a strike does happen, the snake can't bite my leg. It's just going to hit hard plastic and not be able to get its fangs through. I almost said teeth. Anyways, so if you go out into these areas, do a little bit of due diligence, research the area. I did find out that there are alligators in the waters up there. Of course, it is South Texas, so there's alligators just about anywhere. And oh man, hold on just a minute.